To Max Oligario, I've spent time with Max going through the Alumni Association and watching his growth and watching him become chair of the Alumni Association Board of Directors and getting to know him, a wonderful person. And thank you, Max, for those kind words. Thank you for this award. Dr. Julie Cheney, the new president of the Alumni Association. I think technically November 1st, if I remember correctly. I laugh because I was on the search committee when we were looking for the new president. And let me tell you, you got a diamond. And I don't use that lightly. Another first that I want to recognize and say thank you to is Tom Jennings, Vice President of Advancement. Tom, and I know a few of you will remember, but when Tom was hired, the Black Alumni was one of the first groups he addressed. He was fresh off of, ink wasn't dry on the contract, and he was in the Alumni Center at our reunion addressing the Black Alumni. And it built such solid relationships, and we plan to maintain all of those solid relationships, and it's just been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Even to Dr. Thrasher, or President Thrasher, who is not here, another great first. And kind of you'll remember, and Renisha, you'll remember, doing the presidential search, we weren't on the committee, right? We penned a letter to the Tallahassee Democrat. Of course, they put it on the front page. Black alumni demands a seat at the table. Remember that? Got a call from President Thrasher. I'm here. We met over at Ben Crump's office. And sleeves rolled up. And we were ready to jump into this man. How dare he come in to be the president of this university? And I will tell you, by the time we spent that 40 minutes with President Thrasher, I think we probably carried him on our shoulders back to his car. He in that amount of time, he made that type of impact on us. Before he walked out, we had a cell phone number. He said, text me, and I understand sunshine laws. Just call me on the cell phone. And so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So many firsts that I'm so proud of with Florida State. Yesterday, tailgate, had a conversation with Attorney Ben Crump. He's a Circle of Gold member and a good friend. And by the way, you're going to get checked all the time as leaders of this organization, believe me. So Ben Crump checked me. He said, segregation. I said, what about it? He said, why are you getting your Circle of Gold here and not at the other ceremony? I said, Ben, it's important for me. I told him I asked for this. It was important for me. And when Max called, he asked me, where would you like to receive it? And I thought it important that it be among my peers, among the organization that I just led for a number of years, that you see this, that you understand what the Circle of Gold is. And I think Florida State only has about, 300, 240, about 300 people in the Circle of Gold. The only honor higher than the Circle of Gold is the Bernie Slacker Award. So it is in thin air that I stand with some of these giants in the room with this award. So I'm not going to say anything else about Florida State. But I do want to talk to my students and my young alumni, Gennaro Jackson, all my good young alumni, strong folks. My wife keeps painfully reminding me that you will turn 50 this year. And I just say, no, I'm not. Change my Facebook, change it. See, done. But she keeps reminding me, and I seem to have learned something just 2 weeks ago. During the storm, we lost our power. Now, let me go in order. We lost our cable, then we lost internet, and then we lost power. And when it came back on, it came back in the same order. We got power first before we got internet and before we got TV. And even when the power came back on, I was just like, I don't have internet. They don't have TV. So, like many of you, we had to find something to do, right? Board games, cards, talking, all of it. We had to find something to do. But one of the things that we did was we watched our wedding video. And I learned something. And I'll tell you, I want you to test this theory and see if I'm right. And young alums, it might be hard to test it right now, but give it a shot. You can take a graduation video, a picture book of any memory you have. Something hopefully that was professionally captured, but take a memory book and look at it, okay? And I guarantee you it's going to look different. Probably about every 5 years or so, it looks different. The first time we watched that wedding video together, we were like, oh, I needed a haircut. Or, the flowers were beautiful. Look at this, it's great. Those were the types of things that we were talking about. We watched it about 5 years later, and the conversation had changed. We said, ooh, picked up a couple pounds. I said, you did too. So now you hear me? you say, look at my hairline. It was right there. Yours is fine. Now you still holding on. You're good. But the perspective had changed. But during the storm we looked at it again, and yet again the perspective had changed. All of a sudden in that video, for the first time I think, we saw everybody else. Right? And then the conversation changes. Whatever happened to so-and-so? Well, we knew that wasn't going to work. We got the chance to look at somebody and say, oh, look, that's when Cousin Dorothy was around. Your perspective changes. And for the young folk, I want to tell you, and I'm not that old. I ain't 50. I won't be 50. I want to tell you that watch out for these selfies, because they're no good. You're spending time catching angles, right? But in 10 years, they're no good. They're just a picture of you. And the reason they're no good is because you didn't get the perspective of the moment. The moment. When you have a selfie, it doesn't say what was going on. You might remember, but that's not going to spark it for anybody else. So you got to pay attention to the perspective. In fact, I want Chris Evans. Come up here, brother. Sadat, come up here, brother. Leroy, you got 2 cameras. Come over here, too. So, and I call these brothers up here for a very specific reason. Come on over here. Come on over here, Sadat. He's like, man, what you doing? You didn't get the memo? Okay. Bro, you got your phone, man? I want you to take a picture. Can you get it? Yes. Can you get it? Yeah. No, don't worry. But we prop each other up, right? What other stage do we have a good omega man, a good alpha man, a good kappa man? Sir? That's right. You're representing it. Get a picture of this. Get a picture of this. This is what you post. This is the moment. This is the moment. This is just for today. I happen to be the one standing here today, but this is the moment. This is what you will look at in 10 years and say, oh, what happened to so-and-so? Oh, do you remember Miss Connie E. Jenkins Pie? She was sitting up there, nodding off in my speech. You remember that? So this is the moment. So, again, I want to say thank you, brother Peck. Thank you, brothers. Thank you. And you mean a lot to me. But just don't forget the moment. And sometimes, as they say in the corporate world, some people can't see the forest for the trees because you're in so deep you can't go back to the curb and look how great the weekend was. You can't go because you're right there in the middle of it. And again, I'm so appreciative to be welcomed to the Circle of Gold. And I'm even more appreciative that all of you are here with me. Thank you.